All right, so understanding function notation. So I'm going to anybody want to read this? You got it? Yeah, page 4. Page 4. Start at the very top. Oh, did you want to read it or no? Excellent, excellent. Thank you so much, Jillian. We appreciate you there. So let's take a look at what we kind of have here, right? We have the ages from 0 to 16, and then we have heights in inches, starting out when they were 0. So when she was born, she was 21 inches. That's usually kind of, I think it's an average height, maybe a little bit taller than a normal baby. When you come out, you're like that tall. It's wild, isn't it? And by the time she was 16, she was 66 inches. 66 inches. So what's that? 5'6". So what is our independent variable here? What is our domain here? What are we dealing with? What deals with our domain, our inputs, our x's? What do y'all think? Huh? X. Yeah, what is X up here? Age. Exactly right. Yes, age. X is your age. That is the independent variable. Your age is the independent variable. Okay? Independent variable is your X value, your input. All right? And what has to be the dependent variable? Exactly. Y equals your height. Your height. Height is your dependent variable. Okay? Dependent variable. So height is the dependent variable. Good, good, good. All right. Now, what is this asking for? Number 2. What is the value of h of 11? H of 11. What does that mean? Do y'all know what that means, that h of 11? What's that kind of saying? Because I think once you understand what that's saying, then you'll understand what the question's saying, right? So all that's saying is, what is the value of her height at 11 years old? 62 inches. So how we write that is this right here. H of 11 equals 62 inches. So what's that saying is, when she was 11, she was 62 inches. But that's how you read that right there. When it says h of 11, that h means the function we're talking about, so height. What is her height at 11 years old? We're putting the independent variable in to get our output. Okay? So right here, same kind of question. When x is 3, what is the value of y? It would be 39. Yeah, absolutely. But we got to know how to write that in function notation. So what is our function here? What is the letter that represents our function? Not the letter. H. Good, Adam. H. So we have h of parentheses equals something. What goes inside the parentheses? What's our input? X. So what is it? See how it tells us what our x is? X is 3. So we, instead of putting x, now that we know what x is, let's put in what it says. So yeah, we put in 3 there, right? And then what is it equal? Now, so the height at the age of 3 equals what Justin said, which was 39 inches. 39 inches. So again, kind of follow me on this trail right here. Ready? This means what function we're using. So the h here means height, right? So what this is saying is the height at the age of 3 equals 39 inches. Should you think we should write that down to maybe kind of give us an understanding of what it actually means? So the height at 3 years old equals 39 inches. And let me zoom in on that if I can. So that's really what that is saying right there. The height at 3 years old equals 39 inches. Okay? Remember, the years old is our input. That's our x, right? That's why we have that inside the parentheses. Our input goes there. Can anybody tell me how we would write this one out, number 2? How would we write number 2 out? Perfect. If you want to write that down, you can as well. I figured the more we write down, the more we see it, maybe the easier it becomes. At 11 years old equals 62 inches. The height at 11 years old equals 62 inches. Now, number 4 is pretty interesting here. It says, find an x. So what are we trying to look for? The x. Yeah, we're trying to find the x. What does x represent in this problem? 8? What does x represent here? What does x represent here? Age. Did you say age or 8? It's all good, man. I was trying to clarify what you were saying. So it means age. The x means age. So notice what it says here. Find the x, or find the age, such that h of x equals 53. All right? So we need to figure out, if it tells us 53, what does that 53 represent? Does that represent the age, or does that represent her height? Her height. Yeah, it represents her height. So we need to figure out what goes inside the parentheses that's going to give us a height of 53 inches, right? Well, looking back at the chart, what will give us a height of 53 inches? What age? And I think this is where Justin's finally making sense. What age? 8. Yeah, 8. So if we plug in 8 into where our x is, so we're saying at 8 years old, she was 53 inches, right? At 8 years old, she was 53 inches. Again, from there, that one we kind of work backwards a little bit. Let me zoom out a little bit. That one, we were given her height, right? Find x such that her height equals 53. So her height is 53. What was her age when she was 53? 8, right? So we went from 53 to 8, right? The other ones, we went in kind of reverse order. Like that 11 to 62, we went to 11, and it told us she was 62 inches. We went to 3 and told us she was 39 inches. It really all depends on what they kind of tell us. So like for number 5, what do they tell us on number 5? Do they tell us her age, or do they tell us her height? Exactly. It tells us her height. So we got to figure out her height at what age equals 65. And I think Lincoln already found it for us, right? But could it be 14, Link? Yeah, it could, right? So what it's saying is find an x, so find an age such that her height equals 65 inches. So if we go up here, where does it say 65? Bam, right here, these two. She was 65 when she was 13 and 14, right? So we can actually put in two different answers here. You could put in 13, or you can put in 14. Either one works. I'm just going to put 13. So can somebody read what this would say then? What does this say here?
At 13 years old, she was 62 inches. I mean 65.
65 inches. Fantastic. That's exactly what it says. All right. Or another way, again, kind of going back to what we did up here, you could say the height at 13 years old equals 65 inches. That all kind of means the same thing. Again, this is our input. What's inside the parentheses is our input. Our input. What it equals is our output. All right, so we're inputting the age, and the output here would be the height of, was it Fiona? No, her mother. Her mother, Julia. Height of her mother, Julia, and Julia's brother. Yeah, Julia. Okay. This last question I think is pretty good. Describe what's happening to h of x, who her height, as her age increases from 0 to 16. So what's happening to her height from 0 to 16? It's increasing, right? Yeah. She's getting what? Yeah, she's getting taller. She's getting taller from 0 to 16, right? From 0 to 16, she's getting taller. All right, but this is a great inferencing question here. It says, what can you say about h of x for x greater than 16? Again, what does h of x mean here? H of x means her height. Good, I'm going to write that just in case we forget. That means height. What does x mean here? Age. Good. So we can kind of see how we kind of filled in exactly what those mean. What can you say about height for age greater than 16? So what can you say about her height when she is older than 16? What's happening to her height after 16? What's it going to do? Is she going to continue to grow? Is she going to stay the same? What kind of pattern are you seeing up here? No, I like both y'all's answers real quick. Adam, what'd you say?
I said she's staying the same.
Kind of staying the same. And Justin, what'd you say? It's increasing. And I kind of agree with both of you. All right, because look at the last 4 years. When she turned 13, she was 65 inches, right? And then when she turned 14, 65 inches. Then when she turned 15, 66, 16, 66. All right? So if she grows, is she going to grow a lot more? No, she may grow another inch, maybe 2, but she's kind of leveling off, isn't she? So that's what I would kind of put at the bottom here. She's almost done growing. She's almost done growing. That's what I would probably put. And I think we wrote something a little bit different during second block, but that's kind of the same idea. She's almost done growing. Could she be done growing? She could be. Could she grow another inch or 2 based on the data? Probably. Is she going to grow another 5 or 6 or 7 inches, you think? No, because it's starting to level off. It's starting to level off. So good answers, good answers. Okay? Any questions on that? Any questions? No? All right.
Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, and turn on post notifications as well. Bye.